the best pickup truck in the history of the universe.
Faster than a Ferrari.
Every bit as fast as a Lamborghini Diablo.
In 1991, the fastest American thing you could buy wasn't a Corvette. It wasn't a Mustang. It was a blacked-out GMC pickup truck so insane it could outrun Ferraris and Corvettes. Built for speed, not for work, the Syclone was so ahead of its time, it scared its own makers. This is the story of how a rogue pickup became the ultimate 90s street weapon, and why it was too good to last. Picture this. It's 1989 in Detroit, and the automotive landscape is dominated by powerful sports cars and practical trucks. These two categories rarely overlapped. But GMC, perpetually in the shadow of Chevrolet, had an insane idea. They desperately needed something to make people take notice. And when they unveiled their concept at the Detroit Auto Show that year, automotive journalists barely raised an eyebrow. After all, what could be more ridiculous than claiming a pickup truck could outrun European supercars? But behind closed doors at General Motors, an outrageous experiment was underway. A small group of maverick engineers had been experimenting with dropping a turbocharged V6 from the Grand National muscle car into the compact Chevrolet S10 pickup. At the time, the Grand National had already established itself as a giant killer capable of embarrassing Corvettes in straight-line acceleration. So why not take that same formula and apply it to a pickup? But there was just one problem. When the concept was presented to Chevrolet management, they wanted nothing to do with it. The project seemed too outlandish, too divorced from what pickup trucks were supposed to be. Trucks were for work, for hauling lumber and towing trailers, not for racing sports cars. But that's when GMC stepped in, seeing an opportunity where others saw only foolishness. GMC teamed up with Production Automotive Services, and together, they set about the complex task of transforming a humble GMC Sonoma into something the automotive world had never seen before. But the engineering challenges were enormous. Pickup trucks simply weren't designed for supercar-level acceleration. And the biggest problem? Getting all that power to the ground. The team started with the drivetrain. Traditional rear-wheel drive would never be able to put down the kind of power they were planning without endless wheel spin. But in a stroke of resourceful engineering, they borrowed the all-wheel drive system from a GMC Safari minivan of all things, and created the first AWD compact pickup truck in history. Under the hood, the transformation was even more dramatic. They started with a 4.3-liter Vortec V6, but that was merely the foundation. The real magic came from the Mitsubishi TD0617C turbocharger and intercooler system, paired with a throttle body borrowed directly from the Corvette. The result was an official rating of 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. But building a monster was only half the battle. Getting corporate approval was another story. Within General Motors, the Syclone project faced constant ridicule. Executive meetings turned into contentious debates about the very purpose of a pickup truck. The Syclone's payload capacity would be reduced to just 500 pounds, less than half of a standard Sonoma, and towing was officially not recommended. It seemed GM was creating a truck that couldn't do truck things. Despite the internal resistance, the small team pressed forward, convinced they were creating something special. And when the production Syclone finally hit dealerships in 1991, it didn't just meet expectations, it shattered them. The performance numbers were staggering: 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.6 seconds, a quarter-mile time of 13.4 seconds. These weren't just good numbers for a truck. They made the Syclone the fastest accelerating production vehicle sold in America that year. Faster than the Corvette, faster than the Mustang, faster than anything Detroit was producing. The skeptics were totally silenced. Here was a pickup truck, with a GMC badge no less, that could outrun virtually everything on the road. But that kind of single-minded speed came at a cost. This truck was so specialized for straight-line speed that GMC had to make some unusual compromises. A warning label inside the cab explicitly advised against off-road use. The lowered suspension meant even speed bumps could pose a challenge. Its performance-focused engineering meant traditional truck duties were almost entirely sacrificed on the altar of speed. But rather than hide its impracticality, GMC decided to own it. GMC's marketing department recognized they had something special and leaned into the Syclone's giant killer image. Their ads boldly proclaimed, Think of it as a Porsche 911 that really hauls, directly positioning this humble pickup against established sports car royalty. The marketing strategy was clear. Forget comparing the Syclone to other trucks. This was a performance vehicle that happened to have a bed. Even if the market wasn't ready, the Syclone had already changed the rules. The Syclone represented a radical departure in pickup truck philosophy, where trucks had always prioritized utility, hauling, towing, durability. The Syclone flipped the script completely, focusing entirely on speed. The GMC engineers had created something truly revolutionary by asking, "What if?" and then following through with unwavering commitment to performance above all else. But here's where things get confusing. After producing just under 3,000 Syclones, almost all in black, GMC discontinued the model after just 1 year. The short production run transformed what could have been merely an interesting footnote in automotive history into a genuine collector's item. Today, well-preserved examples command prices that their original owners could hardly have imagined. The Syclone's influence didn't end with its short production run. Modern high-performance trucks and SUVs like the Ford F-150 Lightning owe their existence to this pioneering machine that proved utility vehicles could deliver sports car thrills. While GMC built fewer than 3,000 Syclones, its impact extended far beyond its sales figures. Automotive historians regularly place the Syclone at the top of greatest performance trucks lists, recognizing how it redefined what a pickup could achieve. The true legacy of the Syclone isn't found in a spec sheet or quarter-mile time, but in how it permanently altered our expectations of what a truck could be.